This is The Scoop for Wednesday.
I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines. Governor Ron DeSantis signed a death warrant yesterday for a man convicted of raping and murdering a Putnam County convenience store manager in 1988. It could be Florida's 17th execution this year. Richard Barry Randolph is scheduled to be executed November 20th for the murder of Minnie Ruth McCullum. If the death warrant is carried out, it would add to a record for executions in a year in Florida, and it could continue a recent pace of 2 executions a month. A Polk County agency is challenging a decision that would allow neighboring counties in the Tampa Bay region to pull more water from the Alafaya River. This raises the specter of the area not being able to meet future water needs. A petition sent last week to the State Division of Administrative Hearings pits the Polk Regional Water Cooperative against the Southwest Florida Water Management District and Tampa Bay Water. The cooperative, which is made up of local governments, oversees water planning and projects in Polk County. Tampa Bay Water supplies water in Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco counties. The Polk Cooperative is fighting a July permit decision by the Water Management District to allow Tampa Bay Water to withdraw more water from the Alafaya. That river starts in Polk County before flowing into Hillsborough. The petition, which was filed at the Water Management District before going to the Division of Administrative Hearings, contends that the approval of the permit would effectively prevent the Polk Cooperative from being able to get water from the Alafaya that it will need in the future. Florida's growing cost of living and rapid development have made this state unaffordable for many people, especially for Black Floridians. WMNF's Chris Young reports on a new multimedia project from the Florida Policy Institute that illustrates how racism affects home ownership in the state.
The timeline dives into how systemic racism over the past 160 years has led to the displacement of Black Floridians. Cicely Hodges is a policy analyst focused on housing at the Florida Policy Institute.
We need to teach people about the history of the policies that are put into place, because oftentimes those policies are rooted in racism.
The timeline touches on redlining, where lenders and insurers would discriminate against minority areas, making homeownership more difficult, all the way to last year's HB 1365, which prohibits local government's authority to allow homeless encampments on public properties. Hodges hopes that lawmakers will use this timeline to advocate for change.
We need more housing built that is affordable for people who are cashiers, waitresses, people who are doing the majority of the jobs in the state that keep the state running.
Find the link to the timeline of Florida's racist policies that have led to the displacement of minorities on WMNF.org. Chris Young, WMNF News.
Palm Beach County and Boca Raton are required to pay about $885,000 in attorney fees and other legal costs after a battle about bans on the controversial practice known as conversion therapy. That's the ruling this week from a federal appeals court. Last year, a U.S. district judge approved a magistrate judge's recommendation to award hundreds of thousands in costs to lawyers who represented marriage and family therapists in a challenge to the constitutionality of ordinances that banned conversion therapy. But after the therapists appealed the fee award, a 3-judge panel of the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals increased the amounts. Palm Beach County and Boca Raton passed ordinances that banned therapists from providing treatment or counseling designed to change minors' sexual orientation or gender identity. Critics of those practices say it harms minors who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. But a panel of the Atlanta-based appeals court ruled that the bans violated First Amendment rights. The therapists were represented by the right-wing Liberty Counsel legal organization. The Florida Department of Transportation has taken away the dedicated bus lane for the Sunrunner on part of its route in South Pinellas County. The Sunrunner is a bus route that runs from downtown St. Petersburg to the beaches. The Tampa Bay Times reports that now the state has stepped in. The bus will now have to negotiate along with car traffic on Pasadena Avenue. The Times reports that losing the dedicated lane could force Pinellas to return $22 million to the federal government. The dedicated lane also serves as a lane for bike riders. Advocates are concerned that cyclists will be less safe now that they have to share the lane with cars. It'll be sunny today and warm with highs in the high 80s, clear with overnight lows tonight in the mid-60s, mostly sunny tomorrow and warm with highs in the high 80s. I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.